I don't have enough followers, or I would.
Okay. You're okay. Yeah, I know T. That's BS. You're a white T male.
What reason do I have to
Who are
lie?
you?
It doesn't
No,
benefit me.
you're lying.
What out of
No,
52 states, out of
Black
52
Wing,
countries,
Black Wing. Hold on. Who are you to tell us as a white T cis male? Who are you to tell us what Trump has done for the black community?
My
Who are
family
you?
fought. My family fought for the North, by the way.
I
So
don't
I
give a
have
shit.
every right.
I don't care if your family fought in the Super Bowl. I don't really care. I don't care.
So then, why? If you don't care, why are you asking?
No, I don't care.
It has
You said your
nothing to do
family
with the
fought.
conversation. It
Are
has
you
nothing to
really?
Do you know what the North fought for?
Are you really that? Are you seriously? Seriously? Are
The fact
you?
that he's so triggered because I made a
no,
I'm not
joke.
triggered. My family was in the Civil War. I fought for the North.
I don't care about the Civil War. I don't care. I don't care about the Civil War. I asked you, were you a white T male? And you said, no, you are.
No, no, sir. I'm not
Yes,
a white male.
Okay, you said you from where?
I originate from Africa.
Who do you vote for?
I vote Republican
who do
because
you,
I hate racist. I vote Republican.
because you hate racists, but you support Donald
You know
Trump.
who was on the. You know who was on the
I
side of
smell
the.
mayonnaise.
Talk over me
I
one
smell
more time.
mayonnaise.
Stop talking over me. Really? You're starting to annoy me by talking over me. Now, if you want to talk whenever you want to talk, I will highly suggest you get 1,000 followers and get your own live.
Mike, Bailey, blind person on panel,
Yeah.
and hearing his voice, he's not. He's
You
white.
sound triggered because I'm not white. Why are you mad I'm not white?
I know.
Does it make you mad that I'm not
know.
white?
No, it makes me mad because
A
you keep
black
talking
man
over
is
me.
allowed to vote for Trump.
It makes me mad because you keep talking over me. And if you keep talking over me, I'm going to make an example out of you. Now, first of all, I want you to meet Zani. She is the co-host. And meet the rest of the people on this panel. Now, why did you vote for Donald Trump? And I don't want to hear nothing about, well, he's not racist. I don't want to. Why? What policy did Donald Trump did you like?
I like that he signed the historic First Step Act into law, which helped a lot of us in our communities.
That's not a damn policy, and that wasn't
That is
his.
a policy. It's historic.
That's not his policy.
That is a
God.
policy.
That's not his policy.
It is
Guys.
his policy. He signed it in the legislation.
Guys, I'm
Okay.
going to say this one more time. Everybody mute until I call on somebody, please. Please. I want to call on Buzzy because I'm getting a little irritated right now. So I want to call on Buzzy. Buzzy, you want to take this one?
I mean, I can, but I don't know that it's going to be worth engaging because he's
I
not
don't think so. I don't think so neither.
the conversation. I guess I could, instead of making, let's see. All right. What is your username? Surgeon? Okay. So, Surgeon, what is it that you want to discuss?
You know what an HBCU is?
Yes,
You know-
Surgeon. I know what
Do
it
you know who
is.
funded that? Trump.
It wasn't Donald Trump
Do
that
you know who
funded the
cut funding?
HBCU.
Biden.
Sergeant.
He didn't cut funding for.
Y'all,
So, allow me. Donald Trump did not fund the HBCU. It was already a standing thing that was happening, except for how it was rotating was every so many years, they would go back and repass it again. The reason why it was set up that way is so they would have the opportunity to add more funding if it was necessary. Well, Donald Trump, instead of just passing it and let it rotate as it has done presidents before him, he decided to extend it so he wouldn't have to do it again, assuming that he would get a second term. It was already in place. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. It was already a part of funding. It
Well,
just
no,
had to be
they-
re-signed.
No, they had to beg for funding, and he didn't like that. He thought it was wrong for a college, historic black college, to have to
They
beg for
didn't have to
funding.
beg
They
for
deserve
funding.
funding like any other college.
They didn't have to beg for funding.
Sure, they did. That's why they had to keep renewing it.
I'm going to get to
They
Black Wing.
didn't.
Hold on.
Can we? They didn't have to beg for funding.
Yeah,
It was long standing.
No,
It was already in
other college has
existence.
to renew their funding, but a historic black college does. That wasn't right.
It wasn't.
Sergeant, this is literally your last warning. Please stop speaking
For the
over.
love of God.
Stop speaking over. Sorry, Buzz. Last warning. Let her finish.
For the love of God.
I
It's
know.
begging for funding. They are already funded. It was additional funding for those schools. The funding was already long standing. It just got re-signed, and it was created in the Obama administration. It just had to be re-signed. And again, the reason why it was set up the way that it was is so that they could add more funding if needed. Donald Trump assumed that he would get a second term. He didn't want to have to re-sign it, so he made it so he would not have to re-sign it.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was up here a second ago
No,
and I got booted
100%.
down.
Absolutely
Am I
not.
allowed to
No,
talk? You
I
didn't cut me
dropped your
off.
ass for a fucking reason. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cuss. I dropped cats for a reason because they're interrupting Buzzy, and I'm not having it tonight.
Thank you.
Now that's
That's
the third time you've interrupted Buzzy and made me continue to interrupt Buzzy. I am so sorry. Everybody mute or leave.
So yeah, it was longstanding. He just decided that he didn't want to have to sign it again, assuming he would get a second term. That's all he did. He changed nothing. There was no parameters or any additions that he added. It was the same as when it was written in the Obama administration.
But that's factually incorrect. He didn't want them to have to go back to Congress and beg for money, so he said, here, have unlimited money, because it's like every other college, which is fair. I think my community should have a fair shot. Our colleges should be allowed to have funding. We shouldn't have to go back every 4 years or however many years to go ask for funding. It's not right.
That's not.
So
what
even
he
if he
said.
did it because he was lazy, it was still a win for us, correct?
That's not what he said.
Why should we have to go and beg for money? Is it not a win?
That's
Can we
not-
just say it's a win?
Oh my God.
That's not.
But Buzzy, you were right. You were right.
That's not what he said. Like it's simply to
Looking
say
at it right now. I'm reading it off the government website. It's the facts of the matter. I'm looking at it right now for my community, and that's why I like him, because for my community, he allowed our colleges to have funding, and it's not right for you to say that was wrong.
It actually is right to say that's wrong. We already had funding. It was created in the Obama administration. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. The order was long-standing. The reason why it was open-ended is so that they could add additional funds if needed. The way that is stated now is if there need to be additional funds, they would have to go back and redraw the entire agreement that was made, which makes it a longer process if they need more money. Instead of every 4 years being able to assess what's happening with the schools, so they can add more funding. The ability to add more funding. Jesus Christ.
Sergeant, what government website?
It's called Presidency UCS. Are you testifying that there was no funding going on before Obama?
Hold on. Go ahead on, Blackwing.
If you go to the Department of Education, Biden signed an executive order to send $7.1 billion to HBCUs. Now, I got a question for you, Trumper. Name 5 HBCUs and their specialties.
Why are you so triggered? Can you talk to me in a regular
Name
Let me ask you a
5.
question.
Don't yell at me. All right?
Name 5.
See,
Name
if
5
you can- listen,
HBCUs
hold on,
and their specialties.
Hold on, Blackwing. If you can't answer his question, then you can leave. Answer the question.
Now you're getting up.
Name 5.
Answer the
Name
question.
Why can't black people support Trump? 'Cause I sure
Name
do.
5.
My
Name
skin color
5
changed in